What if I told you one of India's most boring toothbrush selling companies just gave us one of the cleanest technical setups of the year? Let's talk about Colpal or Colgate India. So first, what does Colgate India actually do? Simple. It sells toothpaste, toothbrushes, mouthwashes, and personal care products under the Colgate and Palmolive brands. You've literally used their product today. That's the business. Now let's talk money. FY25 revenue was nearly 6,000 crore, up 6.3%. Net profit was around 1,436 crore, up over 8.5%. And the margins, the EBITDA margin was around 32%. That's exceptional for an FMCG company. Return on equity over the last 3 years was almost around 72%. The company also has zero debt, indicated by this debt to equity ratio, meaning it's virtually debt free. It also has a very good liquidity ratio of 1.46 and 1.19. It also has an extremely high interest coverage ratio, meaning that the company is really liquid and is financially sound. Coming to the dividend payout ratio, we can see that it is around 97%. This means that they literally return more money to shareholders than they earn. So, why has the stock fallen 23% from its highs? We can see this because of quarter 3 FY26, which was very rough. Net sales fell 6% year on year, and profit after tax dropped 17%. What was the reason for this? The GST on oral care was slashed from 18% to 5%. A brilliant move for consumers, but disrupted distributor channels and created a one time inventory mess at the retailer level. Here's the thing though, this is a transitionary problem. The GST base effect clears for quarter 4 FY26. Prices are already lower for consumers and volume should recover in the next earnings release in May 2026. The company also just partnered with Mumbai Indians and launched Colgate Total Oral Health Initiative. So the brand visibility is alive. Now, that is the fundamentals. So let's move on to the technicals. As you can see here, this is a classic textbook case of a V-shaped pattern occurring. You can see here that the supply region is around 2174 levels over here, and the stock dropped to around 1780 levels, which is actually its all-time lowest. You can also see here that over here 1858 is one of the key demand zones. So we can take the support level to be around 1810 levels and the resistance to be around 2200 levels. Now, how do you go about executing this trade? If you are bullish, what you can do is by setting up a GTT buy order over here, which is above the previous false breakout level of around 2300 almost. So, how do you do this? You can press right click over here, create GTT, go to buy and then buy it at around 2300 level. So in case if the stock actually does break out, you can buy it over here. You won't have to keep chasing on the stock. It will automatically execute once the price reaches around this level. So let me just create the GTT over there. Now you can also set a stop loss. So how do you do that? Go to right click over here, switch to sell, and one cancels the other order. So over here we can see that I will set my stop loss to around 1780 levels, which is the all-time low. So let me just set up that 1780. You should do this for both sides as well. Now, trigger price. I would say that over the next 3 months or so, I am bullish on the stock. So I think it will go to around 2600 levels. So you can set the trigger price or the target price to around that much level. So let me just do that. And in this way, you can create a sell GTT order. However, if you are bearish on the stock, there's another strategy which you can use. Say the stock does do a pullback and has many bottom up or bottom down levels from here. We can't predict that. But if you are bearish, what you can do is set a GTT buy order over here to the demand zone. So create GTT buy. So when if the stock does do a pullback and doesn't do the breakout over here, it might drop to these levels over here, which is the previous demand zone. So you can create a GTT to buy it over there. And accordingly, you can also set your stop loss and your trigger price. So let us say if the stock does go to around this level or maybe this level, I can set the GTT sell order to trigger and sell the stock at that price point. I've already set the stop loss, so I'll be setting only the trigger. So what is the level? Around 2275. So the GTT order will automatically sell the stock if it does come to that level. So I can create. So in this way, these are the many strategies you can execute for this stock currently. Please keep in mind this isn't financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. So please do your own research and trade with caution. If you like the video, please follow for more such tips like this. Thank you.